Yuta Lee's special chapter, like three-parter.
Wish, right? Oh, dude, I
Yeah.
knew you were gonna love that. I knew you were gonna
Oh
love
my
that.
god, that shit was.
I gotta go through your tweets, but I knew I saw it in passing, and I saw your Agni and Brilith. Hold on, can we talk about Neo Brilith for a quick sec? And like that's what I call her,
Yeah, yeah.
Neo Brilith. I think you went through the backstory with all these
The previous lives and
okay,
or
yeah,
the Agni backstory where
the ancient
yeah, where it showed him and Manaka talking a lot.
okay. So wait,
That was
what has happened?
oh.
Has Brilith like turned up or not?
No, she has silent magic. She's well, I'm past the part now where she literally tried to kill Sagara and instead
Okay, so she said.
captured Dengar.
Okay, so she said the
And she
part
fucking
about the line where she said, "I find it rather revolting." When okay,
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so you're starting to understand a little bit more about why their relationship is a little bit complicated and kind of rocky because of
Yes.
yeah,
Um
it's tough
it's
out there.
I don't know really how to feel about it because it feels like she is and isn't the same character at the same time, which is like the point, but it's also kind of jarring reading it. Um,
Honestly,
not like
okay.
not in a bad way,
Mhm.
but it's just like something I have to get used to.
Okay, so I'll speak for myself on this, right? Because I think what you said is fair. I understand. I hear you. I actually don't think that's a crazy thing to say. I think with me, the problem that I had with Lilith was that like not that it was that's not a character flaw, but I'm like she's such a beautiful, kind soul. She really needs some rawness injected into her. That's like all that's kind of missing because I'm a true believer that people who have hearts that are that big and beautiful and souls like that are just going to be taken advantage of. And in this world of Kubera, being a good person does not give you some morals, grandstanding, or advantage or whatever. They're all kind of like sort of low key bad people in a sense or in a way, or like
Hmm.
they'll they'll do something devious because they're like, well, this is for the best possible universe or the prolonging of the universe, something like that. So it's like I think a character like Brilith would get taken advantage of. So when like the ancient soul of her like kind of reawakened and stuff, and she had silent magic and she added that rawness, you could argue that overcorrection. She went too far in the other direction, but I can't lie to you. This is one of the examples of what I told you before, where I think you had like a 10 out of 10 9 out of 10 character, and you limit break them. I think she's so much more
Okay.
interesting this way, personally speaking.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. She did move up into top five again because of this,
Mm.
especially it was like I think when there was a moment where it seemed like OG Brilith came back. I think that's cap. I think the mixture of the personalities were starting to gel together, and then the
Yeah.
OG Brilith one started to like get more influence in there. But then OG Brilith was like acting like Brilith, and Agni was like, "You didn't lose your memories. Quick happen."
Mm-hmm.
So, but I enjoy it seeing it's like okay, now the personalities sort of gelling together, and they're all realizing like, man, we still love his ass, even though we fucking hate him at the same time.
Yep. That's gotta be confusing. So
Yeah,
more power to them. But
the
yeah,
thing
talk to
I
me. What are some things that you've seen? What do you want to what do you want to point
um,
out?
me and Miles were having a discussion actually earlier. There's one. This is the first time I've actually run into a plot slash character issue that I think might be like bad. Um,
Ooh.
it's when Lee sees Kubera again on Corges for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, I think that meeting is very lackluster, given what occurred at the end of season two. And also, I'm unsure if this is the case. Um, but from what I gathered from season one and two, it seemed like the vision of the future that Kubera had seen of Lee's when he saw her again in like the Sur realm,
Mm-hmm.
it seemed like it would be like the first time they had seen each other since some sort of betrayal between them happened, based on the dialogue that occurred. I don't know if that is just me interpreting it wrong, or if the plot line was dropped, or if it was supposed to have happened during the time skip and we just haven't seen it yet. Because the way it looked like when she talked to him on Corres, it seemed like that one, she wasn't pressed to see him again
Mm-hmm.
after 7 years. She kind of just brushed it off and said, like, "Oh, you're just as incompetent as ever."
Mm-hmm.
And the conversation lasted too little, in my opinion, for the relationship between those two characters really to make it like seem viable in that moment.
You said Kubera or you said Kaz? Sorry.
Kubera, not
Okay.
Kaz.
Okay.
Kaz,
No,
because it's when in
go ahead.
chibi form on it, and he's in that little tunnel with her. right before he sees Kali.
Okay. Okay, so cause sorry, the mistake that I'm trying not to make is spoil anything because I'm trying to I don't. Unfortunately, it's not a series that I'm my second year release, so I don't remember where every arc is, so I don't want to spoil anything. But I'm going to go on a limb here because you already seen Lisa's name. Did you?
Yes,
Okay,
an
okay,
answer.
okay. Okay. I said that because I wanted to make sure that I didn't spoil the part where you know that the person who takes over Lee's in the second season when Asha's like, hold on, what's going on here? Is future Lee's saying that this is a child that I care to protect or whatever, and then after,
Yes.
okay, um, that to me was like brilliant, even though it wasn't like it was within the realm of what I thought probably happened. I thought it was still really a really good scene. Like it was bone chilling to actually kind of relive it. Where I think you're getting to the point where you're starting to see us kind of revisit certain events and certain things in flashbacks. You're gonna
Hmm.
see soon that I think that honestly Kuragam has a pretty interesting way of exploring the backstories in her universe because
Okay. Yeah.
it
Because
gives me similarities to Prisoner of Azkaban, a certain moment and scene, which I think is
okay.
a very interesting way to actually kind of revisit the history that built up the world in the present time. I really like
Yeah.
that.
I like the Kali thing, but I'm talking about when. Yeah, I agree. That whole scene was really good.
No, I know you're
Honestly.
talking about the Kubera scene with.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to revisit that and look at it myself.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember off the top of my head like that.
Yeah. It just seemed like really lackluster for because if that is the first time she's seen him since he kicked her into the wall,
Mhm.
I'm like that's not good enough. Like there needs to be some kind of dialogue being had, even
Okay,
if you go.
no. Okay, okay, all right. I think I got what you're saying now. No, because you're talking
Yeah.
about since literally, and then she went in the Sora realm, and so you're seeing this. Okay, yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
No, that's not particularly moving anybody. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
So that's like my.
Yeah, I have to refrain from saying more, but I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
Okay. Okay. Um.
What do you think of
I
the
guess I'll.
Kaz reunion?
I think it works. I'm confused why he wants her dead, but
Do you remember the question that I asked you about Asha's actions?
uh,
Remember, I told you there was one thing I could not figure out why she did it.
saving tail.
Yes.
Yeah. Um.
So
I'm still not sure why that's the case.
okay, I'm pretty sure I could reveal this to you now if you're not no because my chat to spell out for me too. It's not like I figured this on my own. They got it for me too, right?
Okay.
I thought that meeting was weird. There's still more to be had there. We'll see what happens. But being triple nil is rare, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are his birthday attributes,
They're all nil because he's chaos priest.
right? What do you think would have happened if Teal was gone and they needed to replace her?
He'd have to be the priest.
And that would have revealed to who too early that he was still around.
Oh my fucking god, bro.
That's what I'm saying. I told you she's built different. That's
So Asha. So that leads me to think that Asha told or manipulated Kaz in some way to where he thinks that Lee should have stayed dead. Oh, he wanted to be priest, and that's why he wanted her. Oh my god!
See, you're going a different direction. That's an interesting perspective. For me, I thought that basically how I took it and the chat took it is that Asha didn't, for some reason, didn't want Lise to know that Kaz was alive at the time being. What you interjected are some other opinions that I've heard about it, so I don't think you're wrong to say that. I've heard some other people say that, but the general consensus, if you just ask like most people, it's like she did that so that Kaz and Lise wouldn't know about each other being alive. But what's the significance of that, though? What's the reason? Why would them knowing that they were alive earlier, what would that have truly changed? We have yet to see what that would have been at. But that was kind of like
Okay,
crazy to me.
so that's a little bit separate.
Did Kaz already magic trick Maruna?
Yeah, he did.
That was awesome.
Already.
The Eye of Perishment. That was cool.
Yeah, that was cool shit. I just think I need to know the reason why he wants Lise to be dead, or he thinks it would have been better.
I still don't know that answer because
okay.
it almost like if I remember correctly in the moment, I almost interpreted it as like this weird like mercy where it's like it's actually in a weird way. You know, like some people say, like, "Ah, I want to be born into this world. This world is trash," or whatever the case is, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where it's like she would suffer less if she just was not here anymore. Like
Mm-hmm.
the better alternative was for her to not be there. That's kind of how I took it, but I do think there's more to it. Because, and I think you're also now at the point with some of the things that you've seen with Kurigam is I think you've probably given her. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. You've probably given her the benefit of the doubt from the standpoint of I have a tendency to look at a lot of these stories, and because of the media and the medium they're in, I just expect certain things. I don't
Mm-hmm.
do that with Kubera after a certain point where I'm like, usually in a Korean webtoon or usually in shonen manga, I would go a certain route. I stopped doing that with Kurigam. I kind of give her the benefit of the doubt, and I just let her prove herself naturally every week.
Okay, so
I
D&D
only
got delayed by 20 minutes, so that's more time for me. Love to see it.
I only say that because there's a comment you made earlier. I don't remember what you said in the stream earlier where you said something because you said this is usually how these things go. I think it might have to do with Rand's development or Rand's character arc or something. And now,
Mm.
but like I knew because of the events played out that you were wrong, and I'm like he's still thinking like within the parameters of it's still a webtoon, it's still this and that or whatever. And I think that after a certain point, she earned enough respect that it's like, hey, I'm actually not gonna assume she's gonna go through certain traditional webtoon um, tropes and whatnot, if you will. Not that she doesn't have
Yeah.
tropes, but
Well, speaking of Ran, I'll save this for Maruna as well. This is my other, like, other than like pacing things that I had think have been going
no,
on. I actually think it's
there's a couple of arcs and stuff in the third season
yeah,
where I could see why you're like you can I'm not mad at that criticism.
like it's just like pick it up a little bit. That's
I
really all
binged
I have.
I binged it and went crazy, and I know that if things are a little bit like a bit of a lull, I'll be rewarded, so I don't trip. I think with other series because they haven't necessarily proven to me that me kind of sitting through maybe 8 weeks of or 8 chapters of meh will prove itself to prove to be important later. With her, generally speaking, I'm okay because I'm again
Yeah,
she's earned that from me at the very least.
I was gonna say the Ran and Maruna. Okay, so it has to do with like off screening essentially what happened to them after Lee's left the other planet,
Mm-hmm.
where I know it's going to be addressed by a flashback. I don't have any problem with the. I don't think I'm going to have any problem with the content within the flashbacks for either of them. I don't like it being off screen, mainly for Maruna, because it's like becoming fifth stage is such a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Having it happen off screen and then revisiting it later kind of cheapens the reveal for me a little bit. Ran having this weird sort of his like immediate desire, like, hey, if you touch my kids, bro, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Like, I did not expect that from him at all.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm gonna get some explanation on that. So for him, I think it's a little bit more forgiving because it's a character-oriented thing that's supposed to have mystery. Like, what the fuck's up going on with Ran? Maruna is the one where I have more of a problem with it. But I don't, because Maruna seems slightly different so far from becoming fifth stage because he's trying to save the city. I think it's Air Plateau from Symphony again.
Yeah,
I'm willing to see it out for him. Also, I say the special chapter between Maruna and Symphony when they were younger, I think supplements that moment too.
yeah.
Where I was like,
I actually think it's kind of like if there's one thing I would never tell anyone to skip is a special chapter. I think you got to read those.
yeah,
I don't even think they're like, oh, it's for fun. Because even the stuff with the one priest, Sarah, his name is Sierra.
yeah,
He's kind of mad to me until like what happened with Chandra and when they did what they did, and he kind of goes down whatever path he goes down. But even the stuff with him was pretty good. But damn it, I really think I personally believe you'll walk that criticism back when you see it.
okay.
Kind of full. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I think that one you'll walk back.
So now I'll talk about
I think it's a fair point though.
okay.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think it's a fair point.
Now I'll say the things in season 3 that heavily impressed me. I think out of all the characters I thought had a lot of potential from season 2 going into season 3, Chandra and Chef have ticked every box for me.
Hey.
Like, I think both of them are fucking amazing. And I think Lila has, predictably, as soon as the god was there, I knew that she was going in the right. I don't have a
Catman.
I don't have a top 10, but I think that there's a debate for me whether or not I like her more than Saw. That's where I have her right now.
I do. I
And
do.
another character, the one character I did not expect to be that, like, I really like Manaka, just from Agni's flashback.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this bitch is, because when it was real, like Gun Harbor literally took the name. I was like, what the fuck? What's going on?
Yep. That stuff was crazy, and there was such a adult moment of it too, and I'm pretty sure this is still early of it too, because I think one thing I gave Kurgan credit for is because I think she has these moments where like I'm gonna take something generic like like One Piece whatever, right? And throughout the like course of Enies lobbies, you're kind of waiting for Rob Lucci and Luffy to go at it, right? So that confrontation is crescendoing into a climax to a point where they're gonna fight and blah blah whatever. I honestly think Kurigam is so good at this that she'll have like a main thing you're excited to see, but it has like 6 ancillary parts where you're like, this is just as interesting as the main conflict.
When all the cities are being attacked at once by Cigar's forces, I was like, there's 40 different fucking things happening right now, and I want all of them. When Texaka pulled up, I was like, what the fuck?
Yes, sir. You see Chibi? I said, wait, hold on. He tiny? What's going on? He Chibi for him. Yeah,
and he pulled up, and I was like, when he turned half Sura form against Chandra, and I think what has real big potential, him and Agwin, and then Cossack whenever Cossack gets there.
Yeah.
I would love, because it seems like that Texaka only cares about Cossack in terms of anything he cares about in the world. I think it'd be really cool if he actually accepted the grandfather role and then sort of broke the mold for his clan in a different way. And also Cossack, when he said, there's literally the only thing I care about in this world, and if Agwin's dead, I'm out. I don't care.
Yeah.
I was like, this the GOAT.
Yeah. I'm so happy I finally have someone who's team Dradra. Okay? we out here. Bleacher Clan. Stop playing with
They're so clear. Oh my god, bro.
Oh, dude. I love it. Love to see it.
Fucking.
What else was I gonna say? There's so many things I wanna pick your brain on.
That's the question.
Oh yeah, did the Tio and Idy thing come to light? I think it came to light because I think around that time you're supposed to learn about the Hotni Vishnu souls that are revived are not possessing the same soul. Yeah. So how do you feel about the Tio thing? Like,
I re-went up my list. Teo is also up my list, but mainly because of the plot. Like when it was revealed that, okay, I'll say it. I like that old Teo is back. I'll say that for sure. New Teo was moving me though, and I'm glad that it was. I consider at this point New Teo to kind of be like a plot device character, where she's kind sort of used
because she's like 7 years behind.
Yeah, like sort of used to talk about this concept, and then is immediately swapped out through a good mean, I think, with the Manaka Taraka fight, and then Gun Harbor having his whole like, and I like that for Gun Harbor where he was decisive about what he wanted to do. He's like, no, we are fucking killing Taraka because I'm gonna make sure that these gods and humans trust me without any bullshit attached because I'm trying to do the right thing. I was like, yes, this is what you need to do. And now that new old Teo's back, you can explore that dynamic again because she's going to remember him.
Yeah.
And I want to see how it goes. It's sad that she got nerfed power scaling wise, but that's not a huge deal. Irie, on the other hand, shot up the list. And if she continues to have interactions with Clove, boy, oh my god.
Talk about my queen, my original queen, Irie.
Bro, I need, because if Clove actually does things with her, he'll be my favorite Ananta clan member until Ananta is actually in the story, probably. Because I need more romance. I know there's a lot of romance on the story already, but I need more. I need it all.
Just more pain. Lee and Yuta not being able to do what they need to do because you keep trying to eat her.
Yep. Bro, when they had the panel, when they were both about to fuck the Sorum, and then it just got ripped.
I think I seen the tweet. I'm like, yo, where the dojins at? I'm like, this is not a popular series, bro. We don't have that. We don't even have that, bro. It's not popular enough. We don't even have the hentai G. We don't even have that.
Like, I was like, fuck the dojins. Just give me written fan fiction smut. I'll take it. I can imagine.
I'm about to start I'm commissioning. I'm like, yo, I need a picture of
like,
the blowing Lisa Sheik's back. I need, I need
Fucking
agony in the real guts. I need to see that.
you're gonna be commissioning this shit like Simi did for the fucking horror unit. That's
Exactly.
what it's
Exactly. Oh, but one thing I appreciate about you is you care about the romance a lot. I know some people don't really care like that. Like I'm a romance merchant, so you know.
That's why we read porn, man.
Yeah.
When you find they got romance and the sex, it's like, yes,
Even
this is
better.
goated.
I don't want it implied, and I see you just with a cigarette in the morning. I want to see that shit happen in real time. But
Also, Agni is for me right now best character in the story, especially after that flashback.
yeah, I'm not mad at that. That was really, his flashback is incredible.
Oh my god,
I'm
fucking
still
love
Team
Agni.
Yama. I think there's some more stuff you have to see with him, but that's my favorite god.
Yeah.
He reminds me a lot of myself. But Agni actually does have some Naya-isms in him. But
The recent thing with Yama was when Brahma finally said, "Yeah, I'm gonna go into the server room and do something," which shocked me. I thought Brahma was gonna be on the sidelines for basically the whole story.
mm-hmm.
Her getting involved is not something that I thought would happen. But what hyped me was when Vayu said, "I'm going to the human realm." I was like, "Oh yes!" I want Mirha to be the one to summon him, so Mirha can be back in the story because I like Mirha. But I feel like it's gonna. I feel like it's gonna be Roosh that summons him, and that's gonna fucking annoy the shit out of me. But as soon as the god,
shout out to them sisters.
As soon as the god and the priestess is there, I was like, yes, this is what I need. And Yama, I think, is gonna have some moments too because I expect a lot more from him. I think he has some potential.
I love him. He really is me. I like in my head. If I was one of them gods, I'd probably be him. He reminds me the most of myself, but him and Agni, honestly. But
I'm very interested in Vayu as well because I did not expect. I thought of all the other gods, I thought Indra would be the next one to be more important. I did not expect Vayu to be like.
You'll be surprised.
I mean, I should have expected it because of the neutral bow, but I don't know. I just thought another one would be more important. I did not expect him to be in the Sora realm helping Lee's and the other fucking clans either.
No, he's solid. I don't have any smoke with him. I am happy you have a deeper appreciation for Chandra though, even though I'm not like a Chandra stan, but I'm like, yo, in season 3 he's been pretty active, all things considered.
He's a good character. I'm not gonna say I love him to death, but I think for everything that I thought he would be and that he like served the story for, he checked every box and more, in my opinion.
Respect it,
especially if the Lila relationship with him, which also seems to be romantic from everything I can tell, if that progresses more, I'd love to see that.
Do we? No, I'm kidding. That one's fine. The only one I don't want to see is Tio and Tio and Con Harbor. The only one I don't want to see.
You know it's gonna happen.
Turn it off. Turn it off preemptively.
It's gonna be like I found somebody that can finally finish the job that Manaka and Shakuntala.
The worst part is every single one of you are gonna shove that in my face. The chat,
bro,
you, Miles, other Gandhi fans. You're not even gonna let me, grieve in peace. You guys are gonna shove that shit in my face.
Bro, it's gonna 100% be some shit where Teo has to love him to get the best possible future. I fucking guarantee it.
I'll forgive him or something, and I'll be like, no, I don't want this.
That's what it's gonna be, man. She's gonna be like, damn, he's fine. I'm like, yes. Let's go.
All things considered, I didn't think about the what you said a little bit about like because she's basically kind of 7 years behind. I didn't the power nerf I didn't think about too much just because I though there's a hierarchy and power scaling Kubera, I don't think about it too often because I don't think the story over obsesses it, even though I don't think it's inconsistent. But I never thought about like, yeah, she's weaker on top of the fact that because she's 7 years behind, some of the stuff with Gandhi will line up better and everything. I'm like, no,
yeah,
I didn't want to think about it. That's why.
I'll say I tweeted this earlier too.
I'm gonna go through your tweets tonight. I'm just still preparing for.
I want to pick your brain on that.
Foraging.
I made a comment about how the fights not being good in the story because I still don't think that they are. I think they're improved from what they were.
They're better though, right?
Yeah,
Like
they're
I
much
think from
better.
the first chapter of season 3 with Lee's with the shield and the sword of return and everything, she was trying to
Yeah.
flex how much better they are, and I do think that like little clashes and stuff happen more frequently. But
Yes.
but but sorry, finish your point.
My essentially like the fights being good sort of exacerbates another issue that I noticed where I don't think that the power systems in the story are used to their fullest extent. And what I mean by that is transcendentals and how they work, other than a vigor limit,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think is explained in enough depth. And magic, I think, is both super nebulous in what certain spells can do, but at the same time extremely restrictive for what other ones do. So I'll give an example. Like Hoti Brahma, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
seems like it has a million different applications, while Hoti, Varuna, Indra, and Vayu seem to only be able to do one thing. And this also applies to Bhavadis as well,
Mm-hmm.
where it seems Bhavati Indra is always area of effect, I shock people all around me. And Bhavati Kubera is I can fly, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems I don't know. It seems like weirdly it's like fluid and concrete at the same time, but it just doesn't gel together, in my opinion. I don't know if anybody else has sort of had that kind of take before, but that's just something that I've noticed since the story started.
The most that I could say that I've seen, and I'm working on a video to explain it all actually, but magic's confusing. I've definitely got
Mm-hmm.
that. Here's the best I can say. I don't think they're like egregious or anything like that, but I do think that we're still in a position and point, even as far as I am, where it hasn't been fully unleashed from top to bottom. If you get what I'm saying, I want you to think
Okay.
like maybe even I guess think like I don't know, I'm just gonna use the generic example. I am Nia D Hemmings, but like hockey, I still think there's a lot more hockey can do. And I'm not even going to get into the problems that it has and how it was presented. But my point is that even as far as we are now, what we know, there's still more. And
Yeah.
there is another layer of something that's going to be explained to you at some point. So you let me know what you think about that and see if it adds, it helps anything. But when you catch up, let's revisit this again.
Okay.
But I don't disagree with that actually. Even as far as I am, where it's like some of them almost have like hard caps, like you want to say it's hard magic almost, where it's like
Yeah.
it does this, and the ones within this realm they do this thing. When the rest of them are like, oh, it's fluid, it's loose, you could use it for this or this. I don't know if that maybe plays into the hierarchy of gods and fourth to fifth, and maybe how well known some of them are. I don't know if that does anything, but I do think there's
Yeah.
more to learn about the magic system though.
Yeah. Because I definitely feel this because like all these like Hotiyama, for instance, it seems to only have one effect,
Yeah.
like just period. And Hoti Varuna can like I can make a water blast or I can redirect the flow of this boat that I'm on in water.
Do you think that
And
any
it's
of
like
them
okay,
have to do with the talent of the magician casting it, or no? You think it's like the spells kind of
no,
yielding
I
it?
don't.
Okay.
Because the effects of the spell seem way too ubiquitous across so many different characters for them to like be that different. To be honest, um, it almost to the point where I would kind of appreciate this like a Nen chart for like affinities of certain spells. For like, I don't want to necessarily get into graphs and shit like that, but for this case where there's like 12 different branches of magic to use, it kind of feels necessary to like put
Mm-hmm.
quantities and qualities on it. But also, it's like when I think of this magic system, when I hear like, okay, we have a whole god dedicated to like one like affinity. Like when I think of destruction, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna use Hoti Marut. I would have expected Hoti Marut to be like, okay, I can shoot a beam if I apply this effect, or if I do like say like I do like a different hand sign or gesture of signals, for instance. If I made this up off the top of my head, I can make multiple beams
Mm-hmm.
that also appear from multiple directions. Like that's the kind of that's what I thought it was going to be, but that doesn't seem to be the case. It seems like I say Hoti Marut, and some people can shoot one beam, or another person can make like 14 beams around their head to cut their hair, like fucking Asha does.
No,
Like that's
it's interesting to think about. I still do think to some degree, the magician's kind of I guess talent plays a part in it.
yeah. I
Just a,
just can't tell
yeah,
where the
I'm not sure where that separates from the spell though.
yeah that's like one of my main things with like I guess that applies to world building in this case, but like
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like the spell system could be delved into a little bit more. Um,
I,
Also, I sent.
I'll say this because the chat always reminds me of this every once in a while. But she'll always emphasize when people complain about certain things that this is a fantasy romance. She's right, so she will say that. But I'll give her respect for not running from the grind of improving the artwork and trying to make the battles a bit more fluid and whatnot.
Yeah,
And I could tell she was horny to show it off because it's the first thing in the third season. I said, okay, hold on, they fighting? Look at you.
honestly, Origami, I'd be like, I've made these characters way too powerful for them to not be fighting. Because you and I both said this.
Yeah.
Like, we got dudes that blow up planets. We got to throw hands. Like,
I,
it has to happen.
yeah, you have to understand. Like I remember some people a little bit in the first season being a little upset with me saying that, but listen, they're too strong. Like if they were just regular dudes or whatever, I wouldn't have batted an eye. But I do think that she's given me more and more of what I wanted, and I didn't expect her to out of nowhere become freaking Akira Toriyama. So I'm enjoying what I'm getting, but.
Yeah.
Luckily, she does so many things well enough, like from the writing standpoint, from her characters and things like that, that I'm not thirsty for combat in that sense. But
Yeah.
I still, again, I get the kaiju battles with the Soras and stuff. But I hear you. I've never not admitted that to me. Like I know people like, yeah, I know it's a romance. I'm not taking it away from it, but like you're talking about biggest unit, this and that, and the third. You go to these planets, Ganhara just blowing up whole friggin' solar systems. Like if they don't fucking fight, I'm about to lose it.
I agree. Also, Teo's in my top 10 now.
Okay.
Because God Kubera hasn't been involved in the season enough. I was like, okay, Teo's been doing too much. I got to put her in there.
I gotta be honest. I flip flopped on her. I'm like, that's not my Teo.
That's what I was doing a little bit.
I said that's fake Teo, but she kind of raw though. Like she dual wielded.
That's what I'm saying.
I was all over the place. Then when the OG came back, I said, all right, I'm just gonna pretend like I didn't flip flop. And I was 10 toes down the whole time. They all know that I was all over the place. They're like, yo, they weren't sure what side of the fence I was gonna fall on, but she's still in my top like 5, 6.
Yeah. And Maroon has also gone up. I can see the beginnings of the arc starting to like pick up pace and like actually like coalesce into what it's going to be. But I got to get to the actual meat of it as well. Also, I'll say I fucking like 4-stage Rakshasa forms more than 5th stage.
Yeah,
I just think they're cool. I think the animals are cooler than the fucking humanoid form. That's just me though.
Okay. I'm mad at that. That's a personal thing. I'm not mad at that. I mean, I don't think. Yeah, no, that's fair. Before I forget this, so this is one of my more hyperbolic statements about the series.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who your kind of a champion, if you will, of character development or going through a character arc is. Mine's actually pretty basic. It actually is Zuko.
Yeah,
it's not to say, and it's not even necessarily me saying this is the best character arc I've ever seen or a character going through stuff, but when I immediately think of a character development and a character development arc, he pops into my head first, and I still think that Nickelodeon did a really good. I've had a really good job with his character coming, especially the part where he struggled a bit when Azula kind of retemps him back into, hey, you know, your dad, pride, yada yada, kill the Avatar, honor. I've seen a lot of great characters. I even as much as like people will try to downplay, I still give Toriyama credit for Vegeta and Piccolo and stuff. They've come a long way from the beginning to the first panel I see them to the last panel in Dragon Ball. I'm not gonna talk about Super, but even those characters, right?
Mm-hmm.
I believe that Maruna has gone Maruna's character development from the beginning, from the start of Kubera to I guess whenever it ends, has been absolutely one of the greatest character development experiences I have ever had the pleasure of being a part of and seeing it in real time.
Where would you say that you started noticing it in the story? Because I feel for me, when I like really started to notice it was when he's, I want to say when he turns 5th stage and he fights Symphotic, and I was like, hey, when you like get away from the planet, I'm gonna try and help you out instead of like immediately trying to kill her.
I thought his willingness to kind of just leave Ganhavara and be like, this is cooked, and reveal himself and kind of go was the beginning because honestly, how do I explain this? as you're anticipating it, as much as it's a good thing and I think it's done really well, I just don't think that it's a hit is hidden. That you just know the whole time Maruna's gonna go through some character arc to some degree. Like I just don't think she did a good job hiding that. If not that she was trying to maybe, but like I just think that's blatantly obvious. Like he's about
Honestly,
to
God,
right.
I think it's obvious. I think it's obvious the minute he spares the halves that he
Yeah,
sees.
there you go.
Tries to say like
There you
it's
go.
like that. That's season one shit too.
Yeah, but that for me the first like true inkling of me seeing it came in that, but it's actually a little bit after where you're at. That's when I was like, yo, okay, and yeah.
Like we're doing something here.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Because I'm gonna give Curry. I don't know. See, probably this, and I'm such a fraud for this. There's certain things I'm such a fraud on. It's like 4 years in the making. I still have yet to really check out how Naver works, how people are paid, how the system is, and how like creators on Naver are really treated and whatnot in the webtoon system. I have been saying for like 4 years I'm gonna look into it and check, and I still haven't done it. I swear one day it'll happen. But that being said, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of popular series end up having the paradigm shift that they have because I think Naver sometimes was like, yo, this is popular, this is working, this is what they want to see. Kubera's not is from what I understand, it's not popular, it's not a priority on Naver, but I think it's pretty respected and critically acclaimed for the fans that read it and like it. It's well respected, so I don't think it gets any additive pressure. So I do think that she can do things like not have the main character be in a chapter for like 30 weeks if you think about it in real time. And even if actually when I was reading a lot of parts in the various parts of Kubera, and I used to go through the webtoon comments a little bit, some people would say, where's Lee's like every week. And I think for another series, that might prompt the creator to like feel pressured to actually like, let me just show Bam for a second. Here I am, right? And she's like, nope, This is the Brilla section. This is the Maruna section. This is Rand's time. This is Yuta's time, and no one could rush her or make her for. And I really, really appreciate that. Because while I do think it comes with its pros and cons, because I can like, let's say I don't like Gan Havra, in the sense that like I don't even think he's a good character, but I love Lise, and I've gone 80 weeks without seeing her, but I'm still on Gan Havra. I can see that being frustrating, but I still prefer when you have an ever expanding cast like this, you focus on different people and from their viewpoints. I really love that.
I think this might just be like bring with casual mindsets, but I think there's too many good characters for that to be a problem, to be honest. Like, unless the plot line that's going on is like super duper pressing, like this is like, hey,
50
like
weeks of Lorraine.
Facts. Like, fuck. And when that bitch came back and said the only solution is to murder Rand's children, I was like, are you fucking serious?
He's also a wrestle candidate for Anata's resurrection, which is interesting.
I was like, bro, get this bitch out of here.
I know.
Hell.
I don't like her. I just don't like her. I want to throw her off of a roof, bro. But no, I'm with you. Like again, maybe that's me. I don't know if I'm overstating things. I'm giving Kurgan too much credit, but I truly don't think that there's any character that's truly so uninteresting. I don't want to follow them.
Yeah, I agree. Other than her and maybe like Clary, because fuck that bitch.
Like, you and Miles are lock and step with him,
bro.
Her being mid.
You're not Rao's daughter. Fuck you. What the fuck do you know?
Oh shoot! I don't even like her like that. I just be funny because everyone's like, I hate Clary, and I'm like, but why? Just one of those characters I like to push the button with.
She's fucking talking crazy for no reason. Like, bitch, no, shut up.
Like, who are you to talk like this? I know. It was so egregious, but I was just like, what'd she do wrong? Oh, shoot, man. I love this series so much, bro.
I'm going to try and finish the rest of the season over the weekend.
We could hit it. We could chop it up on Monday, Sundays when I'll be back. if late
Okay.
Sunday, early Monday.
Okay. Gotcha. All
But
right. I'm gonna head out of here
all
because
right,
I'm gonna get going. I'll see you later, my boy. Have
all
a good
right.
night.
I appreciate it. You're right. You too, man.